So now we're in Santa Paula. So this is Santa Paula. This is where we lived. Sarah and I both lived here. Back when I was crippled. This is where we lived. We're
going to Mom's house. We didn't live at Mom's house.
No. We're heading up to my mother's house, where my mother bought a house up on the fancy hill, the fancy side of Santa Paula, where all the fancy people lived. And didn't your friend, what's her name?
Judy. Judy and Jason.
Sarah's friends, Judy and Jason, rented out the apartment below. The house was actually really, really interesting. It was an interesting piece of property because everything was very, very low to the ground. Even the toilet, the sink, everything. It was obviously somebody short lived there, but it was a doctor. But it was really creepy. I always felt like the downstairs apartment was super creepy. You walk in through the front door, and then to your right, there was those old-fashioned elevators where you shut the gate and then you flip the switch and it takes you downstairs into this apartment. And it opens up to an apartment, and then the way that the apartment was set up, the floors were all concrete. It had a built-in huge freezer, not a refrigerator, a freezer with the locked door, big slabs on it for storage space. But then it opened up when you had to go through like this kitchen area that had all medical sinks and whatnot, and a big drain on the floor, and it was all concrete. And I always felt like the doctor took home his work. That's what I always felt like. It just, I don't know how to explain it.
Well, the shelves in the freezer were 6 feet long. Exactly. That's all I'm going to say.
The house had really weird energy. All I know is that whenever my mom was in that house, she was very, very aggro. It was definitely very haunted. Like the cupboards in the kitchen used to open and shut on their own all the time.
Did you ever
sleep in the guest room?
Did you ever sleep in the guest room?
Yes.
And in the middle of the night,
yes,
the shower would turn on. But the shower wasn't on.
Not just that, but I don't know if you ever slept in the guest room and you were too afraid to get out of the guest room.
Every night I would have to pee so bad.
Same here.
And I would not get out of bed. That door was shut and I was not opening it.
Not just that, but once you were on the bed, you didn't want to touch the ground.
Yes! I had the same feeling.
Yes.
Like the only safe spot was under the blankets in the bed.
Yes.
I felt like I was 5 years old again and scared of the dark.
Everyone that ever slept in this house felt the same way. As soon as it got dark, you were terrified to open the guest bedroom door, and you were terrified to get off the bed. And even more so, if you had to pee, you would rather piss yourself than get up to go to the bathroom. And you couldn't figure out where this fear came
from. Petrifying fear. Like I didn't even want to get my head out of the blankets.
I don't know what
it
was in the dark, but you didn't want to run into it, whatever it was. And there was definitely weird ghost stuff going on in the house because, like I said, you'd be in the kitchen and the cupboards would open and shut all the time, and like Sarah said, you'd hear the shower go on and off. But it was really bizarre because for some reason, if you spent the night at my mother's house, you'd be petrified, literally petrified to get out of that room at nighttime, and you would like literally hope to God the sun would come up soon so that you can leave the room. But the downstairs, the elevator was really creepy like that, and the downstairs apartment was creepy like that, where you never really felt safe, and you always felt like, who was this doctor guy that owned this house, and what was the real story behind it? Because I always felt like he must have like drugged people and took them home and experimented on them in the basement. That was my take on it, and I still to this day think that shady shit went on here. But who knows?
Like the neighbors in the burbs.
Yes, exactly like that. That's exactly what it was like. But I don't really know if I don't really know the history of this house or whatnot, but it was definitely, there was something weird and creepy. And like I said, this is the house that my mom, like, she was like, I don't know how to explain it, like, she was always very lighthearted, and my mom's kind of like Mary Poppins on LSD, and she's like total gypsy crazy lady. But when she was here at this particular house, she was like a whole other person. She was very angry and just crazy and just always like, you'd come over to visit her and it was like, what do you want? And what are you doing here? And there was just this, I don't know how to explain it, but then you'd go do lunch with her and it'd be like this whole other person. And we always attributed it to this house. We always felt this house had negative, bad energy.
Bad juju.
We felt it had bad juju. My mom never felt that way, but we always did.
Maybe because it was controlling her. So here's the house.
We get out and walk around, but this place is scary.
Well, and someone lives here.